brushing?
Oh, woo! Happy Halloweens.
Happy Hey Girloween.
Happy Hey Girloween. Well done.
Is there coffee in her? There is, and it's hot. Okay, there's I saw you brushing.
I was watching you groom before, and so I just had this little thing that we use on the baby.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd try it on my face.
I'm getting close to just flying carpet look at this point. If I cut my head off with the thing,
that's very, very impressive.
Either that, or if I do a 3/4, I'm the zigzag man.
You look iconic. You definitely.
That's always a nice thing to say to somebody where you're like, that's an extreme way to present yourself.
Well, I mean, the shape is incredible.
Yeah, just haven't touched anything since I think I did a trip down to LA in July and came back right before 4th of July and shaved my head, trimmed my beard, and since then have not touched a thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we're even.
I mean, tis the season.
Wayne grow. I'm gonna get that Wayne grow happening.
Nice.
Yeah. There he is. Look at him. Look at him.
Oh,
yes. I gotta get the hipster hat off the back a little bit more. Just a little bit.
Let's
see. This way? Is it this way?
Yeah, the classic, if you had an inch more, the classic LA floppy hat for no reason. There you go. Yeah. Well done.
Pulling it off.
So what have you been getting into that's been scary?
What have I done that's
let's
physical therapy? I don't know.
I haven't talked to my therapist in weeks. I think I was supposed to have a therapy session today since I've just been here.
Really?
I've just been kind of like we'll start again when I get back to LA, but maybe I should have an emergency sesh before yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're feeling good, I'm doing physical therapy because my body's starting to fail me. So that's the fun part.
That kind.
That's the thing. Mental problems. Oh, you can just ignore those till you die.
Of course.
But the physical ones.
No, I haven't felt the need. I haven't really missed it that much. It'll be cool to get back in touch with working on myself and stuff, but it hasn't been a thing. I don't know. I think caring for a little fat monkey all the time kind of makes you focus on yourself less, which is always helpful.
Yeah, you got stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got a thing. You got a higher purpose. I just go to a guy who I pay. I don't know how much physical therapy costs because I haven't got the bill yet. But then you leave with like an old bike tube they tie a knot.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
And you just put your foot in there and wiggle it around. Doing the loneliest hokey pokey is what you do with that stuff. That's what physical therapy looks like. It looks like the loneliest hokey pokey. It's just me in the corner of an empty gym, just putting my foot in and putting my foot out.
Yeah. I thought we've been talking about going. We're not going now. The moment has gone, but going to Salem, Massachusetts, which is about an hour drive from here, for the Halloween season. But it's kind of like it's funny. I was telling you how we have our weekly gatherings, us and our group called the Catman Closers, which I've talked about that, right? How there's a hideously bad dive bar walking distance from our parents' house called the Catman Cafe that you just go in there at night and you feel an air of menace and danger, and it's in this idyllic little town. So we never go. But the joke is we call ourselves the Catman Closers. We're all in our like late 30s up to mid 40s. And are just like, what if we close that place down? We'd all get stabbed. But
is it that bad? I mean,
get together with the Catman Closers. And one of the guys, Chris, was saying like how he's like, he did like some construction work in Salem. And he's like, yeah, there are people there that are just, you can tell they live there because of the history. Which is fucking weird, And I'm also like, it doesn't strike me as a haunted place, just a place where there was abuse of women. Ooh. Like that. There was no witches. It was just like,
is it like like long-haired older divorcees that moved to Santa Fe for the same reason. Like
I would imagine.
it's a spirituality. Like all you did was buy turquoise. You didn't. There's no.
You did.
You just.
You're rubbing crystals on your own head. It's not. You're not doing anything constructive. Yeah.
That I would. I mean, I'm sure that sometimes when a place is touristy, but you're like, I'm here because of the touristy stuff.
I can understand
me
that.
with it.
I dig it. Yeah. So I think it's just because it's like an hour's drive and the weather's shitty, and also there's no, like, I want to go to like the Salem, like, dive bar or old colonial restaurant or something. You can't. You're in your car or walking the streets.
I want to go to the Dipped Witch. That's like that. That's what you should call a bar in Salem. The Dipped Witch.
Witch Dunk Bog. Yeah.
The Soaking Innocence.
I mean, we have a special guest today, Dana Gould, who is from Massachusetts. So he'll get into this. He'll get into this too. But yeah, it just had that thing where I was like, yeah, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. But it's, Massachusetts is spooky enough. I lived in a haunted house in Providence for a week. That's good. What was
if they drowned, they weren't a witch? But if they floated,
they were a witch, and they get burned to death. They drowned, they weren't, and their soul will go to heaven. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for the women.
I was trying to think like the next level Halloween cosm, like you're a witch, but also you have like a life preserver on or something. I was just trying to think like just how to add an easy accoutrement to a Halloween.
Well, and there was the legend of the guy who had a pressing where they put the board on you and they just keep stacking rocks until your body crushes. He was 81 years old. 81. And was accused of being a witch. And it's like, you imagine you make it to 81 colonial time. Like that's like 175 now. And like with his last words, he cursed the town. Like, well, yeah.
I would.
What was his curse? How dare you do this to an 80-year-old man?
I curse everything. I cursed Chase Bank. I think I cursed a Red Box when I couldn't get a movie out of it. I curse everything if it does me wrong. Absolutely. Curse. No, you'd be a witch. You're a witch, but you also put snorkel mask and goggles on. So like the plan is, I sink, but then I swim down the river to get away from him.
With his last words, he cursed the town with the words, "Go fuck yourself." They say his spirits.
He said, "Kiss my ass, and to this day, you'll wake up with your mouth puckered as the curse lives on." And the giant phantom behind above you.
You wake up with an eerie taste on your lips.
This corned beef tastes like shit. It sure does.
You and I went down a rabbit hole of all the people that are using ghosts to explain away their behavior, like the Irish couple in the old house. And the guy, that's right. The ghost was marked. Its presence was marked by a horrible smell, and we're like, that old man just farting.
Yeah, Sheila, the ghost.
Oh, the ghost! It's
the
here
ghost
again.
Goes in here again. In the quietest of nights, you can hear him. I was playing a Comedy Attic in Bloomington, and they all took me to a cemetery to go ghost hunting. And it wasn't that I did that gag. It was how many times everybody fell for it. We're at a cemetery at night, and I'm like, oh my God, quiet. Oh God, do you guys hear that? And then just like at least 3 times.
It's
at
so
least
dumb.
3 times.
It's so dumb, but it's so good.
And test your acting ability, because by the 3rd time you really have to be like, I'm not kidding around. I mean, you're blowing your credibility, but I'm not kidding around this time. Somebody's over there. All right, I'm out. I'm
never listening to you again. I think of the bed and breakfast owner who's like, with his last words, he said, kiss my ass, and in the middle of the night he's just putting his butt on tenants' faces and guests' faces.
Sam Talent has a joke about like having sex in bed and breakfast, and he's like, now it's my kink. I can't come unless there's 9 American Girl dolls looking at me.
Jesus Christ.
Just about how weird it is to have sex in a bed and breakfast.
Wasn't that him, that video you sent me on Instagram?
Ooh.
Of him making baby noises and letting out a horrific demon from hell fart. I don't know why we're on such a scatological tear. Well, I do because it's us, but
it's funny. It made me laugh.
Come on, it's funny.
Okay, here's what you do. You get the haunted soundtrack that you put the speaker in the tree for all the kids on Halloween. Kids
Sure.
but like it's all woo and all the but put a big old juicy fart in the middle of it.
the maniacal screaming far in the distance. Yeah. And that the hooting owl. And just you just edit a greasy fart that just
it's on Reddit.
Wow.
He's playing it.
Oh God. It's so awful. I mean, his face is flushed and red. I can't from the effort or the release. It's so bad. It's so bad. Oh, holy shit. Speaking of Halloween.
Oh, good. We're changing gears.
No, we're keeping it stupid.
Oh, okay.
I was at the market, and I got a skull beer bong, a skull funnel. And I only bought this. I only bought this. You drink it through a spine because I took a picture of it and I sent it to the Catman closers. Text chain, and 3 of them were like, "Buy that! I want one." So there were only 2 left. So I bought 2, and then I put it on my Instagram.
And literally get skull fucked.
I put him in Instagram stories, and Chris Garcia sent a picture of himself holding it up for his fiance years ago at a campground. He's like, "How I knew she was the one." So now I'm going to this deep dive of skull beer bong fetishists.
I just love the idea of the Halloween superstores that only around Halloween an abandoned store puts on the costume of a Halloween superstore and then disappears come mid-November.
That's it. Yeah, and it's a half open party city the rest of the year.
Yeah, the essence of the business is the thing they're selling, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I love those Halloween stores.
Yeah, just a plastic banner they throw up over the previous Circuit City sign they're inhabiting.
Mm-hmm.
As Jake told me, people want updates on Helen. Helen is fucking spoiled as shit. I told you we call her Nell now too, because she's like learning how to meow, but clearly hasn't learned from other cats. So it's just this weird.
It's not raised around other human organisms.
No, it's this kind of weird creaky fence / rusty spray can sound that comes out of her. But we got her a heating pad. We got her a little house that she doesn't go in yet. The raccoons, they're out there, and Helen, they're out there and they go in her water dish and they put their whole hand in the water dish. They're very rude animals.
Yeah.
But we got that. We got the squirrels eating the pumpkin guts. It's a lot happening in the yard. I understand moving towards the simplicity. Like my grandfather would just look at birds in the tree in the backyard, like, oh, that squirrel likes only peanuts. He doesn't like walnuts. I'm like, you were in World War II. And like, oh yeah, this is retirement. This is fine fascination in the minutia. I'm like,
yeah,
I understand
that's what I've been doing living in this small town for weeks, where I'm kind of, that guy usually walks by the house at this time. I'll take the stroller out, walk around the neighborhood. Oh, these 2 bars have like an outdoor tent, and I like to see like who's in them, who's not. And there's a guy there's a couple of those signs, those anti-Black Lives Matter signs that are like a black American flag with 1 blue strip, and it says like America backs the blue. And there's
the Blue Lives Matter flags.
Yeah, he has 2 of those in his yard, and a big old like QAnon stick-on silver thing on the back of his pickup, and he does home improvement.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
And I'm fascinated by his truck, because I'm like, what if he was fixing your kitchen and he was just like, oh, you live in California, huh? You know there's a pedophile ring, right? That they
already dealt with that here in Oregon at a Sportsman's Warehouse. Buy it. You know what's weird is to now be a person who is buying firearms and firearms accessories, but have to deal with the people that dispense those.
Now I know you got a handgun. Did you said accessories? So what do you have, like a lockbox or?
Well, yeah, I got a lockbox. I got, I'm looking to get a little bit of stuff around here.
Sure.
But then you got to buy it from
gonna get like a long gun, maybe a shotgun or
something. I'm shopping around. Let's just say I'm shopping around.
Cool.
But yeah, California. Oh boy, must have been tough. Yeah, so horrible. Yeah, the state that made my dreams come true and made me rich. Anyway, I'm buying guns to fight hillbillies like you. What should I get? What do you own? Cool. Give me the one that's better than that. You know how I can afford it? Oh, I ate a bunch of babies down in Hollywood. Don't worry about it. Give me what's ever better than what you have.
Ooh, and you know where I got them? The best supplier, Tom Hanks's house. Ooh, man.
Good God.
That guy has the best child blood. It's like, look, Kyle, you and I have been in the business a while, and we've had our share. Let's be honest. It's how we've stayed looking so young into our 40s.
I'm 114 years old.
I know, and I'm 98. Yeah, it's a weird thing. You know, in human years, I'm older than you. But in our pedo vampire years, the whole thing flips. You got to read your H.P. Lovecraft to understand it. But yes, we've both made dark, horrible deals with
Jimmy Durante's great grandfather.
Time is a flat circle that's been folded like a quesadilla. Yeah.
But yeah, the whole like, if that's what you want to advertise on your business, I whereas guys trying to go to something lighter than that. But the paranoia, like you get being in the small town and how whatever little thing out of whack is now you're suspect of. Like I said, I missed the recycling day by 5 minutes. I got my cans out the wrong time, but I didn't know. So the whole day my cans on, I'm like, so I got to go to other neighbors and look in their cans that are on the street to see if their recycling got picked up. And now I look suspicious. Whereas if I was at my own apartment in LA, I'd have to wait in line to look into my own trash cans.
Yeah.
Because there's 5 other homeless people waiting to get what they can out of there.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not like, oh, is it a gunshot? I don't know. Probably helicopters. Now, like anything. Who was I remarking to? Like you hear a helicopter here and it's like exciting, like you were a kid again.
Yeah.
Helicopter.
It'll be like the Magnum PI's friend flying in.
Yeah.
Who's
that? An eccentric billionaire? Ooh, neat.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we found there's actually an airport here in town where people fly like biplanes and little, it doesn't seem, even though it's a private, like they're privately owned, none of them are like, ooh, private jet. They're all just like, no, this could take you maybe 2 states. That's it. And it has like a restaurant in it that only serves breakfast and lunch. So we're going to go on Saturday and it's supposed to be pretty good. And we're like sit outside in the cold and watch the mini planes land. I'm psyched.
People own airplanes like they own boats. It's not, it's still an expensive hobby, but it's not just for the elite. People have it because they're enthusiasts of that kind of thing.
Yeah. I was thinking that would be pretty great. I would kind of love to just have a little plane and be like, I think I'm going to go to Seattle. Like takes me 8 hours in my little plane from LA to Seattle.
Yeah. And then you just think about everyone who's died in the same model aircraft that you're flying at that time.
I don't know how that doesn't cross your mind constantly, no matter how much Creedence Clearwater Revival you're playing really loud.
Do you like with all the flying, what's the scariest? This is not quite a Halloween scary story.
I don't care.
But like, what's the scariest you've been on an airplane?
When I was really young, we flew these little, like, we were in, for some reason, these kind of Indiana Jones planes when we were in Taiwan. And I remember just being thrown around and loving it because I was 11 and I didn't know better. And when I was a little kid, I loved turbulence. People would be crying and I'd be like, yeah, like I just got a kid. Because you can't fathom you ever dying at that age.
No.
But I think in the modern era, probably times when you're on the plane and it just hits air pocket after air pocket after air pocket, where it just keeps dropping, and you can hear the pilot going, "Well, we didn't think we'd hit hold on." That's your pilot again. And look, you know what I mean? Like he had to calm his his dude down or whatever.
And,
you know,
like, I can't talk and do this at the same time. Let me focus.
You have that thought. You're like, this does happen. Planes have crashed. They do crash, you know, and you're kind of like, fuck. Just that feeling of inevitable doom. And I mean, did you watch The Boys? Did you finish The Boys season 2?
I haven't watched that. It's good.
There's a part that involves a people on a plane. It's still pound for pound probably the scariest thing I've seen all year. And I've been really trying to catch up on my horror.
Dude, there was some footage of like a plane hitting a lot of turbulence and people freaking out, but then some dude still making a TikTok of it and going like, land this motherfucking plane now. Like, you're helping. You and your authority from your coach class aisle seat.
Yes.
Absolutely understands how weather systems and aeronautics works. Yes. And you demanding the plane to be put down, you fucking idiot. Like, you're not at all making this situation worse by adding to the screaming as a grown man. Yeah. You loser. I was looking, I'm like, it was terrifying to see what people were going for, but this guy, I'm like, how did they get the child's mind into your head?
You just wish the TikTok would be interrupted by just a hard punch to the side of his face.
God damn it. I wish it would.
Ideally from a small fist, like a woman. A woman just fucking just snaps his nose the wrong way.
Well, and like the fact that he was saying it, like he was saying it with such authority.
Yeah. Well, that's always it. It's as if the pilot is like, they're both panicking, like I forgot all my skills.
Yeah, like, and
he needs to step and slap them both across the face, throw hot coffee on them, and be like, just land it. And they're like, thank God a man was here.
That's exactly you know what, they need a tough guy to really show how things work on this plane.
The guy who I'm reminded of my buddy's dad, who was like rode his motorcycle, was a scary guy, but was like also kind of a dummy, and would be working on his motorcycle and the gear would strip and he would yell fucking whore, like yell whore at the motorcycle.
I do that all the time.
Well, you just do it at random motorcycles that go by as a compliment.
There's this, I don't even know if you can call it a hierarchy of swearing.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, you can call something a piece of shit, but that gets run out. I call everything a piece of shit. Call something like, oh, you bitch. Oh, you bitch. And then you escalate. For some reason, you know, I feel that I am 100% wholeheartedly removed from calling a woman any of these derogatory terms.
Sure.
But an inanimate object that does not agree with me, I will insult in any way I can, because it's taking the place of the inevitable actual violence of me punching the item.
And it's the violence of the word, you know, like when I'm by myself, I will yell the word cocksucker, and it's like, that's not a put down. Yeah. Who amongst us with a cock does not love and revere a cocksucker? You know,
I would love a study that said, like, what is it sonically or just acoustically with certain words that like are tied to something that make it like those are the words you yell, as opposed. I was trying
it's the bounce of it. It's the bounce, because motherfucker is constant. It's forever, you know. But and we can yell it. But cocksucker, there's a pause. It's like because you yell cock sucker. It's the two.
Is that
what
it
boom,
is?
Boom boom. Yeah, that's why. Because it's like you're yelling it in a state of betrayal. You know, everything's falling apart.
I was wondering if I could retrain my mind to just use like a category of words, like instead of swears, just go like fruits and vegetables or something. Like if you could retrain your own mind and be like, oh, raisins and grapes, like, you know, like just
rutabaga.
And again, I think swearing, to be offended by, there's nothing worse than like somebody who's angry in an email and then swears, but then puts like an ampersand or a pound sign in. Like, you coward. You're a fucking coward.
Segura had that bit of like his least favorite adult is an adult that goes, language. Like, fuck you. Shut up. We're both adults. Don't tell me how to talk, man. There's no kids around. Language.
It's an instrument, and some people know how to use it and some people that don't. Somebody's like, and then I'm doing this fucking thing. I'm like, I think less of you right now. I think you're not intelligent. You don't know how to speak.
Yeah, we'll bring on our guest, but the one that always makes me laugh is Magoo, Kevin McGeehan, telling me there's a dude that was just around in this group of people who would just curse for no reason and not even interestingly, and like he was like they're like waiting to get a coffee or something, and his like music's playing. He goes, "What is this? The Beatles? Fuck." Like, is it good? Is it bad? Why did you say the F word around people you don't really know that well? Like, you just stupid, like a waste.
Well, there is something psychological, like to how often the word like is used as a space filler.
Of course.
Like, and
yeah.
And I've like overheard, and I do, old man alert, but overheard like kids, like where they use like so much.
Oh. You just want to kill them. Yeah.
It's like you've created the magic eye poster where like I don't even know what the image is anymore because you've put so much of this color and line through it.
On the other hand, though, I will say one of my favorite Twitter threads was this woman that was writing about, she was on a plane and she was talking to her friend, two young women, and an older guy was like, "I'll give you a challenge. Talk for 5 minutes without using the word like." And she goes, "Go fuck yourself." And it's like, I appreciate that. It's like, who are you, man? You know, like, I'll give you a challenge. But okay, well let's not waste our guest. Let's bring on an old friend of ours. He's known in certain circles as Mr. Halloween. And no, I wanted him on because this is our Halloween episode a week, and we both love the holidays so much. It's all three of our favorite holidays. So let's welcome Dana Gould, the hilarious Dana Gould.
Oh my God. There was so many. I was listening, I listened to the show. I was here at the house. Yeah. And I'm drinking out of my Black Dahlia coffee cup.
Oh, nice.
Sure.
Because I like to see severe abuse every morning.
The weird fact about that is they started selling those at the crime scene when they found her. There's just a guy that had these mugs out.
Giant foam finger, but the finger's cut off the hand and it's on the other hand.
Did we interview him? We didn't interview him. We just let him set up a merch booth.
There's so much I need to say, but first let me just say, like, I'm wearing this because there's other things going on here in the house.
No judgment.
So I'm wearing the headphones and the mouthpiece to kind of so you don't hear it bleeding in.
Well,
but also
airplanes.
Right, and it also provides me the opportunity to do my famous George Kennedy impression, which is, "We're gonna land this bird." Okay.
That's what I was waiting for.
I was listening to you guys talk about you're in a cemetery looking for ghosts and someone's farting, and I couldn't join in, and that to me was hell.
Sorry. I am sorry, Kyle. You should know when I was on one of the times I was on Dana's podcast, we went off on a tangent of how people shit themselves when they die, and how like the person just like
probably the funniest thing ever on that podcast.
I don't know what laughed harder of just the guy trying to tell, like the guy dead and dying from a old West shootout, and just like, "Clementine, hold me close. I'm sorry, please. It's fine. Please go."
Changes all those romantic movies.
Yeah.
I'll be there for you, Marge. Those last bubbles at the end of Titanic was not from Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's all from dying farting.
Well, that's I love the phrase "dying with dignity." I just want to die with dignity. Nobody gets that.
Nobody gets that. You void your bowels. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was like, go ahead.
Just the old. "It's so cold. Hold me close, Clem." No.
I just went a half hour ago. What is this?
Yeah, I was like, the other was like, "I don't want to die alone." I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a crowd of people. My kids staring at me in horror as life slips away. My last view in this world is ineffable sadness.
You have that bit of like,
yeah,
I just don't want to die alone. Just like left arm seizes. "Don't you move."
Everybody gather around.
It's happening.
This will be you one day. But no. So Kyle, you just did you say you just got a cat?
It kind of came with the house. It's
We found a cat recently.
Yeah, is it same? You let it inside?
Yeah, well, we now have an illegal number of cats and dogs.
What is the number that
I
is
think you can
allowed?
only have 3 or something. We have 5 cats and 3 dogs
Wow.
in a studio apartment with no. No, I'm kidding. No, well, we built a. This isn't very Halloweeny, but we built a catio, which is an exterior fenced in area for the cats to hang out in, and you put the litter box out in the catio, and that's 90% of your trouble right there. Now we're going to build one for the baby. Just let her crawl out.
A baby-o.
Have a little work area.
You should let him get in touch with nature early on. Just let him play in the yard like an animal. I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah. Why not?
Sunblock and they're fine. Sunblock, bowl of water. They're
and that does, you said it wasn't
sunblock in a bowl of water.
Let them learn from the animals first. Let them learn some instincts.
Why not some water and a bowl of sunblock?
We found a big nest of babies under the house. We trapped them. Humane traps. We didn't. We just didn't kill them. We brought them in.
Yeah, they're actually the same technology as like your bouncy house, but it's smaller and it fits around the baby.
Yeah, we're co-parenting with a couple of rescue pit bulls.
They keep them in line.
We're raising a fighter.
Having that many cats is pretty Halloweeny, you ask me. I mean,
well, this cat is a black cat too. Our new cat's a black cat, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. It's a pretty cool cat.
There is
and we never will think we're haunted because every night it's all night long. Every night, boom, boom,
yeah.
Postmates cat food delivery. Mouse delivery.
In Postmates cat food. In the Boston
no, they do it while we're asleep. They call it Postmates. They order freeze-dried mice in the mail. It's all sorts of stuff.
The Boston Globe has an article about Blossom, this black goat that was stolen from a sanctuary. The $1,000 reward. I mean, like the witch, it looks like Black Peter. This thing, it's got the horns. And without a doubt, someone stole it to take like Halloween pictures. But the article, he needs his medication. Like, give him back. You don't know how to feed this goat.
That was the only time that movie lost me. Was if it really was in New England, the goat would have been, "Don't be a prick. Live deliciously." What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey, guy.
No, you're gonna take off your clothes. You're gonna float around the woods. All right, it's not a big. Don't shit yourself.
Don't be a queer.
Yeah.
Just don't shit yourself.
Go down to Cumbies, get me some scratches, and get the fuck back here quick. It's Halloween. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I am a stone's throw from a Cumbies right now.
Of course you are. What town are you in Massachusetts?
Mansfield.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. That's what I always thought
about.
College is
you're very close to where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the beautiful town of Hopedale, Massachusetts, the most ironically named town in the country.
Is that Eastern Mass? You're all in Eastern Mass?
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, southeast. Hopedale, you see like 4-year-old kids walking around smoking. Kevin Rooney used to have the best description of the kids walking around Massachusetts. When do we die?
Dave Stone has a joke about going to grade school with a kid who would bring like an actual lunch pail, like a thermos lunch pail for not like a lunch box
towel over it.
No, just like a thermos of coffee. Telling his teacher, like, hey, Ms. Nelson, I noticed on the way in your brakes were squeaking. You want to drop by the shop afterwards? I'll take a look at it for you. He's like, we're 7, dude. What's going on?
I got that big wheel up on the rack. You're gonna blow your axle out.
Kids just taking bites out of a whole tomato for lunch. Like, where are your parents?
Salting it.
Yeah.
He's just cutting an apple with a knife sitting on the fence.
Kid eating a potato with a shaker of salt, reading a biography of Stalin during recess. Yeah, it's a flinty environment. It's
yes.
And it is so funny, because people assume that they always say, like the liberal enclave of Boston. Like Boston is the deep south of the north. It's like the most racially integrated city I've ever been into in my life is Atlanta. Which people think like, oh God, the South, forget it. No, Atlanta's the most progressive, forward-thinking city.
Atlanta's light years ahead of the rest of the country.
It really is.
Yeah.
The cities in the South, I've always been like, yeah, you go anywhere outside of the city, but the cities themselves,
Yeah.
I mean, I was in one bar where I was like, everybody, like, I couldn't look like it was like mostly black people in there. And then, but they were like, they're breakdancing to Groove is in the Heart by Delight. And I was like,
yeah.
and it feels like one of those places where like the rubber band got pulled so far back that when it snapped back, it's like, we all do everything now.
Yes.
There's no scene to fight what's around us. We are all everything here.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And
Like-
Atlanta is so, I like the thing that caught me off guard when I went there for the first time is how foresty it is. I was like, this is like a bigger, more cosmopolitan, far more people of color Portland. This is how this feels to me.
Yeah.
You know?
You get, but down in Atlanta, people are so confused. You get like black people listen to Dave Matthews. Like they don't know
Sure.
which way it's going.
Yeah, it's like John Roy's bit about seeing a black guy with a Pearl Jam shirt on, and he just was like, so knocked off his
They cross streams.
Yeah.
Y'all listen to Bread? That band's amazing.
Oh, baby, I'ma want you. That song slaps.
Alex Rita, Bread only had one album, The Best of Bread.
It was her first and only album.
So you can go up to Salem. Salem has a liquor store called the Bung Hole. Big neon sign.
You texted me.
Just, I saw it when I was 23, and I just thought it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Kyle and I we've mentally collected our favorite liquor store names. There used to be one in Glendale called Hammered Liquor, and then there was one on Pico that was called You Are My King Liquor, which I was like, obviously the guy means like Jesus Christ, but if you were like,
You're my king liquor,
a white knuckled alcoholic that's barely making his AA meetings, you are my king. He truly is my king. Like pulling in.
I hear you, Matt.
There's a place. Guys, there's a place in Philadelphia that I don't know if they forgot the possessive, but it was just called Jeff Cold Beers, and it just it wasn't Jeff's, it was just Jeff, like his name was Jeff Cold Beers, and like, you should open a store. I think I will. And maybe they didn't even sell alcohol in there. It's like Jeff Cold Beers,
House
furniture and home decor. I don't know.
It would be weird if his last name was Cold Beers, but it goes back to the 1600s.
Yes. It's like the Cold Beers clan.
There's an umlaut in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes. We're from the Highland Cold Beer clan. We're still at war We're still at war with Craig Hot Pretzel.
So I wanted to bring this up. I am so like trying to my wife doesn't like horror, and so I'm like just watching horror movies when she's working and stuff. So I'm now midway through 2 horror movies at the same time that I'm going back and forth between. Are you guys, have anything you've been digging through lately or rewatching? I rewatched The Ritual, which I love. It's on Netflix. The British horror movie.
Yeah,
I like that one. Yeah. I saw a clip from, I think it's a TV show called The Terror. So I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Did you watch just the clip of a guy in an old timey diving suit being lowered? It's black and white. He's being lowered into some icy water, just in an old timey diving suit. And he goes past a portal, and then there's a monkey screaming in the portal. Just that alone, that imagery alone is like, all right, I'm gonna have to watch.
It's a bad sign.
I think that has something to do with the Shackleton expedition, or is it a fiction version of the Shackleton
series? I got about 3/4 of the way through the book, and it took me like 7 years, and I didn't finish. But it was Dan Simmons is an incredible writer, but like I watched the series. The series kind of lost me. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw that clip and I was like, ooh, this piqued my interest very much.
But I might have the patience for it now. This is like pre-pandemic where I couldn't focus on one thing at a time.
We just rewatched Carnival of Souls, which is great.
Yeah.
It's very old. And it's funny, my favorite horror movie, it's as a kid, but is on Halloween night. They're showing Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman on Svengouldie.
Yeah, Svengouldie, sure.
There's 2 things. I love Svengouldie. I love that they still do that show. And I was in Chicago, and I watched the show. Like, I love the show, and I like, that's the job I want to do. And like, I years ago I got on Twitter and I was like, I don't want you to retire. I want you to do this until your dying day. but when you stop, I'll do it. Like I'll
Yeah.
I'll be
Honorary chicken
Svengouldie.
thrower.
I'll fly myself out. So I was in Chicago doing a gig, and I'm on like the morning. You go into the morning show, and I'm on the morning show set, and as I'm being interviewed, I'm looking past the cameras, and the host is like, "So you're a Simpsons writer, and you're going to bring some comedy, And I'm not even listening to her because the Svengouldie set is on the other side of the soundstage.
Whoa!
They just flipped the set, and I literally went like, "Is that Svengouldie's set like on TV?" And they're like, and the commercial, they're like, "Yeah, they're coming in an hour." And I just stayed. And he came in and I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And he was like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" He knew who I was. And I ended up doing a walk-on that episode because I literally was just on the set when they showed up for work. But here's two things about Frankenstein Beast the Wolfman is one, the title. I like that they didn't assume they were going to fight. It's not versus. Let's just have them meet. Let's have them meet. It's a meet. They're going to meet.
It's equivalent of a coffee date. No pressure. It's just coffee.
It is that meetup site. It's just coffee. Yeah.
But the crazy thing about that movie is, and it was made in like 1942 or 43, the main drive of Lon Chaney Jr. in that Wolfman is that he wants to kill himself and he can't. It's such a weird thing for a movie in the 40s, the hero's journey, and that is, "Won't you just find a way to let me die?" It's really dark. It's like leaving Las Vegas. It's just like
it's got to be the worst because you just keep blacking out and waking up, and your belly's full of human flesh, and you're naked. And you're just like, I can't
again.
I
would love to remake Leaving Las Vegas, but with just hot dogs instead of alcohol. If it was just me just going through Chicago, just like, ugh. I meet a hooker and she's just like, woo! I'm like, it's everything I ever wanted.
Just dumping Chicago lime green relish on her
green relish
to eat off.
How is this movie more upsetting than the original?
This is more disturbing to watch.
Just a girl in a shower sitting on the floor, but just like a string of linked francs, like coiled in the shower.
Kyle's just dancing through Portillo's.
Just celery salt in my eyes.
This isn't.
Now, Kyle, why are you doing PT? Did you injure yourself, or are you just doing it?
I got like a whacked out tendon in my leg that like between loading and unloading a moving van and then not doing anything else other than that all summer kind of screwed it up. So hardly an interesting story.
Oh no, I have it today at 4:30.
Okay, well, I had call me. I can mail you any of these. Good $2,000 rubber bands.
I have a shoulder. I had shoulder surgery. I had a rotator cuff and blew up. That's what he said. He goes, a lot of people tear their rotator cuff. Yours blew up.
You mean like a major league pitcher or like somebody who's never used it appropriately ever?
Like an old bicycle chain. Like I just popped every sprocket.
Wow.
And
I didn't know anything about that until I heard you on your show interviewing April Richardson.
And now I have and now it's funny because it only takes 2 weeks for your muscles to atrophy. And I was in the splint for 4 weeks. So when I came out of the splint, I have basically a baby arm. Like it looks like my arm, but like this is what I can pick up with it. And then other than that, like I'm shampooing like.
Oh, wow.
But here's the thing. So in Planet of the Apes, when they land in the ocean and their pods open up, they would have just rolled around on the floor like babies. Like they wouldn't have been able to have gotten out of that shit.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't get up and walk around. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that's the unrealistic part of Planet of the Apes?
That's where it threw me.
Is that what took you out of the movie?
Yeah.
Was the medical discrepancies
fake? I was watching that. My kids were watching. I took them to see one of the movies, and then the next thing, I made them watch the original. They got about 14 minutes into it, and they left. But when the ship is sinking, my daughter at the time just went, "Dad, their clothes are in there." it was just like
Oh, my keys.
Yeah, movie commentary tracks by kids would be really great. Like have like 5-10-year-olds watch Citizen Kane.
I would love
That's
that.
a big fireplace. You can run in that fireplace.
The amount, like watching John Carpenter's The Thing, and they just keep going, ew, gross.
I put the coals. Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Looks sticky.
Yeah. It's all slimy. Why don't they wash it?
I was in this. You know what I like to do in the snow? You know, you can pee in the snow.
I like it when it's that cold. I don't know.
What if they all peed help at the same time so the letters were real big?
Yeah. My dad has a beard like that. He always has food in
it. Yeah, I haven't seen him since I was 8. Silence.
But I feel bad that Halloween. This year Halloween is gruesome because it's on a Saturday, is a full moon.
Yeah.
Daylight savings time.
Yeah.
You get an extra hour of it.
Yeah.
And it's canceled.
Yeah. Can't go to
that
the
is
store.
Yeah, and all the costumes that we're not getting because it's canceled, like Slutty Anthony Fauci, Slutty Plague Doctor, Slutty COVID, all the classics.
Yeah, all the
I think Slutty Amy Coney Barrett would be a good twist on the whole thing.
I was going to do Slutty Brett Kavanaugh, like shave this off, just get half in the bag, and just hang my nuts out of a suit with the judge robe open.
Is there an opposite of like conservative Kim Kardashian and conservative Paris Hilton? Like, can you flip it? Is there a way? I don't know.
Oh yeah, can you take like a traditionally
brainstorming?
Yeah, can you?
Slutty slut. It's just I guess a nun.
I'm the Rock, but with a shirt on, so you can't see concerning features.
Right.
Are you going to give out candy? Have you figured out a creative way to give out candy, or is LA totally shut down?
No, well, LA's kind of shut down. There are people that are doing one thing that we don't get a lot. I don't give out candy because I have kids, so we go out. I just But one thing that I would do is I'd go buy a gutter. I'd go like one strip of a gutter.
Yeah.
And I would have the kid. I'd be on the porch, and I would have the kid open the bag, and I would slide the candy down the gutter into the bag.
Yeah.
Boom.
I've seen a few of those. The flu.
Yeah,
flume.
Or just slingshot a Zagnut into a bag.
I thought foot catapult.
A foot catapult is good.
Make them run into the street for it.
Sure,
it's hard for us. We give out Bibles, so it's trickier. It's tricky.
I give out those little comic books about how you're going to hell if you don't love cheating. Those black and white ones.
Not too late to save yourself.
This always start the same way. I live my life the way I want. At the last panel, now you're in hell. I fooled you. The Ann Harris of who's on at Comedy Central forever. She posted a video on Instagram of her family. They have like this. It's like a old ghost hag lady they've built with a bowl that's on a pulley. And they let her go from the second floor.
Oh, nice.
Flies down with the bowl, and then you take candy and then they pull her back up.
But that is an incredibly. This is not my girlfriend's joke actually, but it was just like that is one of the weird sexual things of Halloween. Like the things you go to CVS and the decorations is always like it's like skeleton, zombie, old woman.
Yeah.
That's the most terrifying thing on earth.
But that goes back to the whole Salem thing where it's just like, yeah, these are just women who are vilified, and now the scariest thing is an old woman living alone. She must be making spells of some kind and in league with the devil. She couldn't find a husband. It's like a
forest crone.
I thought about getting one of them like big spider things. I got remote control cars. I could put it on there and then drive a little bucket of candy out to the street, drive it back.
So you're in Portland now, right? You're in Portland now, right?
I'm in Beaverton, so it's like the suburb outside of Portland. Yeah.
And is there trick or treating going on? Is it?
I think people are going to be. I think they'll be out. It's not as like caught up in it here, so I think there's going to be kids out. Going. I kind of hope. I mean, I'm not with the COVID thing, but I kind of hope. I like seeing fun costumes and everything.
And I would just hope. I mean, I wear a mask. I do all the stuff. But I don't, and I'm not a doctor, but I don't see the danger in like you get a piece of candy out of a bowl, you leave the bowl, you leave it alone for a period, or you leave it for 48 hours if that's what you need to do to, it's
there's no one's got a bowl of loose Skittles that you just grab a handful of. It's all
we're not doing that.
Kyle, don't do that. I've asked you several times.
We can't do the
milk duds just stick together. Don't
ladle full of cream corn, just take it.
No, that's in with the Skittles.
Here we have your New England clam chowder, and it's just there's a plastic glove.
You give out chowder.
But like I guess here in Mansfield, I guess you get tons of kids coming by the house. So like we have candy. Like we're gonna get together with friends on Friday, like a distance, freeze our balls off, and make a space heater outdoors for a couple hours.
Yeah,
hang out, and then Saturday we're just here, just in case.
Yeah,
come by and and I don't know if they will or they won't, and it's kind of sad to be like, because I do get that melancholy feeling on a Halloween night when like I've had my own place and no trick-or-treaters have come by. I've been like, oh.
I know, it's awful. It's awful. Or like I remember when there was only a brief period of time in my early 20s where I was just like so into, I was just, getting from open mic into working. And I was just so obsessed with comedy. I remember once I was home and there's a knock on the door. I was like, and it was trick-or-treaters. I think I'd spaced that it was Halloween. And I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
Here's an egg. Hang on a minute. An ashtray. Hey, Merry Christmas. Yeah. You feel like the loser bachelor dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, especially
guys
like
want some old issues of Gallery. What do you want?
You kids heard of We?
I was gonna go hide this in the woods, where you're supposed to find, but why don't you go direct to consumer here? I'm gonna go under the bridge by my house and hand out clean syringes, but they're filled with Reese's Pieces, so that keeps in the spirit of the holiday. But give them something they need.
We always used to you'd find dirty magazines in the woods, which always, how did all that porn get to the woods?
Yeah.
It's like, I've gone to the woods about 1 million times. I've never walked out with less porn than I walked in with.
We broke into an abandoned house, and the basement was just someone's incredible collection of magazine porn. And I remember we were down there for a while just looking at all of it and going through it, and I learned more in that day.
Oh, sure.
The female and male anatomies than I ever needed to. And then literally 2 hours later, because it was across the street from our house, like kitty corner, the two of those kids that were with us, their dad drove up in a van and got the kids to take all of it he took it all. The guy lived down at the end of the street. He used his kids to load up his van and take it all into his house, where they were like, yeah, there's all these dirty men. Really? Where? Well, it seems I should probably collect that and hide it from prying eye. Like, and then
he made it into a series of paper mache suits that he would wear around the neighborhood.
He made an art project in the park that no one asked for.
We used to, my friend found out that the gas station near his house would sell him the three pack,
of course,
like the magazines, like 3 for 99 cents or $1.99. And the first magazine that you could see was always like Playboy or something. But then the one in the middle that you didn't know what it was until you already owned it. And then it was like shaved snake owner. Like it was
real turd in a French roll is what those things were.
Lethargic fat guy magazine. Wait,
always bummer meat.
The other two are
post-op and stacked.
Passed out.
Why did you make this?
What? I don't want this. These are just guys with their pants around their ankles that fell off the toilet.
That's when you just make it a deli order. Like, I want that 3-pack, but you can just take the middle one out, throw that away.
Please take the middle one out.
Just take that old piece of Capicola and throw it right in the trash.
I love the woods were just like when a 12-year-old thinks of doomsday prepping, that's what they think of as a cache in the woods, but it's not, guns and fresh water. It's porn and booze. That's what you hide out there.
Yeah, it's like
empties and whack mags and mysteries on strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Like that Dave Attell joke, where he's like, "Never pack when you're high." You get there, open your suitcase. All you got is Play-Doh and Hot Wheels trucks. Or no, cookie dough and Hot Wheels.
Oh my God, that guy's a machine.
Okay.
Is that a Bigfoot poster behind you, Kyle? What is that?
That is from a movie called Mysterious Monsters, of which I have not seen the film. But
is that a Sun classic? Is that a Sun classic film?
That is a chic Sun classic film. Let me
okay, there you go.
Get a little. Yeah, I'm not as adept on the classics as y'all are.
Well, I was just wondering because have you ever seen Willow Creek?
I'm embarrassed.
Oh yeah, I still haven't seen that. Is it good?
It's very good. Bob Goldthwait's found footage Bigfoot horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Bigfoot has come into the crosshairs because a lot of hardcore Bigfoot supporters believe, they're believe it or not, they're prone to conspiracies. Remain seated. I'll explain this.
Controversial. Go on.
Yeah, and they think that but other ones think no, Bigfoot is the perfect example of social distancing. Like the reason Bigfoot's still here is because he does not expose himself to the many diseases found in human beings.
That's why they've lived on the big feet.
One of the theories is that he's an interdimensional traveler, so that's why he hides in the woods, because that's where the portals are, so he can escape whenever he's being pursued in another dimension.
I find it interesting that you describe that as a theory. No, go ahead. It's great.
I just like that he's like enormously loping through dimensions. Like this. The evolutionary chain has made the fastest and the most adaptable, the strongest survive. Yeah. But this guy's just like, no, I just go through this door and I escape danger.
He's interdimensional, but he walks like Mr. Natural.
Impossible to not shoot him. Yeah.
So articulate about the fabric of time in between eating ticks off of his own body.
And I would amend, Dana. He walks like a bummed out Mr. Natural. Like, oh man, that was heavy. That was heavy what you just said, man. You just harshed my mellow.
That was a Simpsons joke that they did not let me do, that I pitched, which was they were at the ball game and they were introducing to do the national anthem. It was going to be Stephen Hawking, and he would be very, very, very slowly moving towards the microphone at center field, but on the Diamond Vision screen it would be an animated version of him like boop, and then what happened was Stephen Hawking started coming to table reads because he was doing a thing at UCLA or something, and for like a month solid, every table read Stephen Hawking doesn't just sit there with a script. It's like 7 chairs. He's got this elaborate his system. He's got people with him. I mean, Stephen Hawking. I mean,
it's like Neil Peart's drum set moving around.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Keith Moon's coming to the table read today with his kit.
Homer, your theory of a donut-shaped universe is intriguing.
Yeah. So not only can I say I met Stephen Hawking, I got kind of tired of meeting Stephen Hawking.
That's like,
shut up.
I think I've talked with both of you guys about this. The thing about the Elephant Man that was the most annoying is that he talked all the time. Like he had a normal, very smart brain, but incredibly deformed and a huge head. And the scientists who were examining him, he would never shut up. And they had to be like, well, I gotta right. I gotta go. I got a family, and I will be back to check on you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's because of my head, isn't it? No.
No.
You know what? You say that every time, and it is not because of your. It's just
like that.
Rattled on. So
and it would be funny if he was just talked about stuff that really didn't even reflect on his intelligence. It was just like, if you take Leslie West out of Mountain, that band accomplished nothing.
I'm sure it was stuff like that.
It was like the Seinfeld episode where the boy in the bubble was just a complete dick. And so that's like you wanted to hang out with him. Oh, good move on that one.
Such a great. Well, we gotta wrap it up, but
no.
Anything Dana, anything scary you want to share that you've seen or enjoyed or want to
outside of the election in
yeah, no, it's Yeah.
No, fun, scary, fun.
Well, Plan 9 from Outer Space Live is on Zoom. Go to sfsketchfest.com and you'll be able to see that. We're doing that, and and there's a movie that I wrote that just dropped that you can get on Sci-Fi streaming called Toys of Terror, which is
Yeah.
so people getting killed by stop motion toys. It's pretty great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. I love evil toys. That's
yeah,
great.
that's all this is. And they were like, well, I was like, that was the premise. And what's the plot? I was like, I'll come back in a week. Just telling
you really need it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we
but
need.
what's great is they did the toys stop motion. It's not CG.
I love
and
it.
so they have a very creepy way,
the
way they
stuff.
move.
Like
It's really great.
Yeah.
like the skeletons in Jason the Argonauts.
Yeah, I can do my impression since I'm on Zoom. If you're ready.
Nice.
And then they run really high. They run and their knees get way up.
I like that.
Right
So,
on,
Kyle,
Sci-Fi.
anything to share? Or?
I don't know, man. I got nothing going on. I'm just living life.
When did you leave LA and go to Oregon? I apologize for not being so up on my Kinane lore.
You really should be. I actually am very offended that you don't know more about my personal life.
He's so pissed.
I'm not,
because from where I stand, it looks like just a tsunami of Kinanity. Thank you.
Heyo.
I'll take it. I'll take that one. I've been up here since June, pretty much, and I've been up here since June. We're kind of hanging out all summer. Decided we had an opportunity to not pay double rent, and so we gave it up on the LA spot, and we'll see.
Everybody's
see what happens.
Everybody's thinking about it now that I always wanted to travel to Calcutta, but I don't have to now. I just drive down to where Meltdown used to be.
Yes.
Everybody's thinking about
Canyon. Yeah.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah,
I got to read the donations. Donations last week went to the ACE network since the Kickstarter for Weekly World News ended. Good job, everybody. But No Coin, $25. Snip Ticker, $20. Swayze Meteor, $25. Anxious Pangolin, $20. New patrons: Anxious Pangolin, Cassie Borden, Jamie Newmiller, Chris Myers, and Dylan. Thank you guys so much. Dana, before we
I know Chris Myers.
If
it's the Chris Myers, I think.
Chris Myers from Omaha?
Oh no, I know the Chris Myers in Canada.
Of the Omaha Myers?
But those all sound like jokes that words that Johnny Carson died too soon to work into a
exactly.
An anxious pangolin drop his no coin in your snip ticker.
Swayze Meteor. Swayze Meteor is here.
I know. I feel so terrible. I know you got to go, but I feel bad
is there
all
any,
those Carson things that he can't do.
Any charity that you wanted? Because we have donors.
I always halfthesky.org, which helps. Helps placement for children in China that are aging out of the orphanage system, that not everybody gets adapted, and Half the Sky gets adopted. They all get adapted. And Half the Sky is a wonderful organization that I'm a part of that works.
Okay. Very cool. We'll give everybody, if you can, and Dana, thanks for coming on the show. Really.
Oh my God, it was so great. It was so good to see you. I look forward to your return. Please go to Cumbies for me. Go down to the Double D.
I will. I'll go to Donkey for sure.
my niece might be working at the one you go to.
Okay. Cool. All right. See you guys.
Thank you, Dana. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Keep it scary on the fun way.
Bye.